What's up, guys? This is King Majestic here. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to a new segment we're going to be bringing onto the channel, where I sit down with like-minded individuals, just really picking at their minds, seeing what moves them forward, what they have for your guys' perspectives. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get started with this. Okay, so a little background on Elijah and I, right? So we actually used to work with each other at a Karma and Luck, right?
Which is like a sales company with selling crystal jewelry on the strip in Las Vegas.
Definitely, and he was very, very smart and charismatic, and we were just talking, and I admired this man, because of the way that he would talk to people. And he just revolutionized myself into a couple different things that I would have not been open to if I didn't have his perspective.
Sure. That's one way of putting it.
That's definitely one way
of putting it. Yeah, it just comes down to the real recognizes real, man. Because it's just sometimes you meet a reflection. You know what I'm saying? You meet someone who reflects you so well, and it helps you just bring out things that you always have within yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to just meet that right person, cross the right path, and see that right mirror to really see yourself in that light. It was like when real recognizes real, you can resonate that energy off of somebody without it being let out, and then you can kind of flow and go back and forth with it. You know what I mean? So really just opens yourself up with that, which is awesome. Yeah. But yeah, 100%. That's like, we go back a few years.
Yeah. So even when I met him, he actually has a company or a business and a project that he's been working on called WhatIs, right? So what is?
So WhatIs is something I've been working on for a few years with my brother Blake. And basically what we do is we throw events out here in Las Vegas based around the community, and it's for artists by artists, right? So we broadcast and we put on the spotlight different, let's say, painters, speakers, writers, performers, Reiki healers. It's very conscious, very free thinking, very free flowing, but it's also very accepting, very welcoming, very understanding of everyone. And really what it is, it's more of it's a platform, it's a baseline, it's a foundation to bring to light love, art, creativity, acceptance within itself in all of these various platforms, all of these various outlets. And it's just something that we're starting here in Vegas to kind of help express within the community and expand it. But yeah, it's been absolutely amazing that journey that we've been on for a little while. Yeah, that's good.
And so what does that really mean? It's a very abstract name and title. To think what is, I've tried to contemplate myself, and you've explained it real briefly, but can we kind of go more into that? I'm kind of like
and just following through and staying present and understanding that you are creating yourself. There is nothing more than what is, and once you understand that, you can let go of fear, of judgment, of ego, of expectation, of any of these things, and you can just learn to accept and find acceptance, because you're not fighting from yourself for anything. You're understanding that it's all what is. And that can also go into the idea that everything's like a meditation, right? What is meditation? It's being what is. It's being present. It's being conscious. It's being in the moment. It's staying in tune, and that represents a sense of truth, a sense of reality, a sense of understanding. You know what I mean? Being in what is, being in present. And then also it's very catchy. You know what I mean? It's something that just keeps people kind of on their toes, and it keeps them guessing and being able to play with those lines. So we like that a lot too. But yeah.
That's good too, dude. Yeah. I know when you introduced the concept to me a while ago, I knew what you were trying to say, but it's hard to explain it sometimes. It's hard to grasp it, because I know where you're coming from, especially the way that you think in a very metaphysical almost type of sense oftentimes, right?
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think I think you're right, and I think it does make it tough, because there's a lot of ways that you can explain it. There's a lot of ways for it to be perceived, to be understood, and that kind of plays into the what it is, right? Because if what is everything, then it also creates it to be nothing. You know what I mean? So it plays on this paradox line where you can make it anything you want it to be, and that also makes it so confusing to find it to be anything. When I first started WhatIs, I was way more into it being extremely conscious, extremely metaphysical, breaking shedding this dimension, transcending to another place and trying to be there. But I think as I go further along, just growing myself, getting older, and growing with the company, I'm seeing that I want to make it more inclusive. I want to show even that paradox, like, yo, what someone might think of what is, and that you might have to be some certain type of stature, a certain type of level, or need to be somewhere, is the exact opposite of what I'm trying to preach. I'm trying to show that you can be this some spiritual, very in tune person and still be a real ass cat, have real ass problems, you know what I'm saying, do your thing, go through life and all that. You don't need to, be something. And I want to break that barrier, because I think that's something that happens in the spiritual community, is that exactly what they're trying to pursue turns out to be something that they've been trying to get rid of this whole time, which is like a sense of identity, ideology, trying to be something and get to a level, you know what I mean? So I want to break that layer and shed that, and then again that plays on the paradox level, it's so back and forth, and it's kind of living in this moment of what isness, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I've been focused on more too.
Yeah, that's a lot. So with your projects and stuff, a lot of the, I know that you told me earlier when we were in the car on the way here about the events that you have. You try to have them about once a month and stuff. And I know that I think you have, what is like food for the mind or something, or food for the soul, or what's that all about?
So we have two types of events. Yeah. So what we try to do, ideally we want to get it on a track where we're doing 2 events a month. You know what I'm saying? And we have 2 types of events. That's why we get to do it. We have a food for the heart and mind, and then we have a food for the creative soul. Okay, and that again, exactly those 2 things plays right into almost that paradox scheme that I've been trying to say, right? So, food for the heart and mind. What's that? That's an event in a park. It's usually going to be a all-day event. It's surrounded by and centered by more spiritual concepts and conscious aspects of life, i.e., yoga, meditation.
I love those. I've seen those on your Instagrams,
right?
And
very calm, very present, very in tune. It kind of sets your moment and gets you grounded, right? But we still, we have performers, we have artists, we have painters, all this good stuff too, right? So we still get it going. Then we also have a food for the creative soul. The food for the creative soul, though, that's more of an event that's dedicated to the nightlife aspect of it, right? So it's more of an indoor event. It's going to be more at a nighttime. That's going to be more focused on music, fashion, and art, right? We're taking kind of out of the conscious stuff per se. We're kind of letting that be for the other event, and this is more almost like kind of like a party, if you will. You know what I mean? You kind of go out. Some of the events we have, we have open bar, we have alcohol served. Kind of just set that vibe to show that, like, yo, we can do. We do this, other stuff, and we get real in tune, and we can get down with ourselves and get one. But guess what? We're not going to neglect this other aspect of life that we all love and that we all accept too, and all find happiness through too. We want to express both outlets of that. You know what I mean? Like I got a group that vents for me. Dope ass cats. They're called Feeling Ghetto Las Vegas, right?
Feeling Ghetto
Las Vegas.
Okay.
That's their name, dude, right? Real hood cats from like East Side, you know what I'm saying? They have their own clothing line, but real cool cats. They're all just about like if you buy a shirt from them, they bring like Top Ramen, Top Ramen. They bring like a bunch of them, right? If you buy a shirt, they give you a cup, and they're like, everybody eats, bro. We all know what it's like to be starving, so we all want to pass the love, So they come from a place of. That's way, if you looked at it at face value, you wouldn't see, to the common eye, it wouldn't be something that you would typically think WhatIs would be associated with, right? But that's the barrier that we try to break. We shed that layer and show, yo, people out here is doing it for love, support, and creativity, and we want to express that on any level we can. So now every time I see them, they'll be like, yo, oh dude, that's the hugging event, bro. Everybody here hug, you gotta hug that cat, you know what I mean? So it's just cool that we can kind of just be that outlet and other people's lives and show them like, yeah, you can get love anywhere, you know what I mean?
That's good, man. That's freaking awesome. Shoot, I know that something that I've started to kind of learn more of is just like throughout my journeys, like since we rarely talked in the past maybe like year or so, maybe like here and there, we would.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've quit, right? Like, I have not smoked in about, 8 to 9 months now.
Wow.
Freaking insane. Like, I feel so proud of myself from that.
Awesome,
like,
I was going to ask you that. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. And when you came into my car, ooh.
Yeah.
I was reminded of all of my past funds. I was like, ooh.
Yep, I had to come in, bro. I still keep it clean with that stuff.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember when we were smoking, when we would smoke at work and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's so true, bro.
I
We
literally.
had some good times, man, at work. Work was a trip. What, it took away like your lack of motivation maybe so much? Or did it kind of take
Yeah,
away
so I mean,
your headspace?
I think part of it is that it took away like my lack of motivation, but it also, I was spending, money on it. I was spending time on it. I was spending energy on it, and it's just like where your focus goes, your energy flows, and that hit me.
Yeah.
And after every time that I would smoke, I would just be like, damn, like I could have been doing something productive right now. And where was my association back then and now? And again, not saying that the weed's bad at all, right?
No. 100% hear you.
I say it more in the sense of like it just at that time and like for like where I want to be, I'm just like, you know what, like I need to take a break from it.
Yeah.
And I decided to quit. And honestly, since then, I've just been so much more, way better.
See, I gotta get on that tip, man. I smoke way too much weed, bro. I really do. Yeah, definitely gotta take a break, man. For sure. That's inspiring to me. I gotta make it happen. I've been wanting to, too. I've been meaning to.
It's hard at first, man. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Like at first, it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
But and the thing is that what I found that has helped me is that I associated disappointment with smoking, right? Like every time that I would think about smoking, I'd smoke, and afterwards I feel disappointed, right? And then next time I saw it, I'd be like, damn, do I really want to smoke because I know I'm just gonna be disappointed, and I would emphasize that in disappointment, so that way when if I did smoke, then I'd be like, dang, like I knew I was gonna feel disappointed. Why did I do it? And then eventually I just was like, nah, like it's not worth feeling that. Yeah.
No, totally. That makes sense.
Shoot.
That's good though, man. Hell yeah. I love
Yes.
that. When was the last time you took a psychedelic?
So last time since at this point, so this man introduced me to psychedelics, by the way. That's that thing that he introduced me to. I was kind of hesitant about bringing it up because I know that like I mentioned to my boss one time that I do YouTube. Like because she's checked out my gratitude poem, and so I'm not sure if she's actually gonna be checking this out.
We'll just voice opt it out for like a different word, like in the edit. You know what I'm saying? You just be like,
Alright, so Karma and Luck, right? We were working around and we were walking around the kiosk, right? Because we would sell jewelry, and he was teaching me. He was on the board teaching me, and then we kind of got into he's asking me like, oh, do you smoke? And I'm just like, oh yeah, like I smoke here and there. And I remember he was saying like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. You don't strike me like somebody that would smoke. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I've done some stuff. And we got into a good conversation for hours.
We always would, man. We'd have a lot of conversations, man.
Definitely.
we bounce off each other really high. You know what I mean?
Definitely. He said one phrase that got me. He told me, I would not be the person that I am today if I did not try my own experiences, right? And I took that to heart, and I actually got into more of like the psychedelic world because of essentially him stating that. And I thought to myself, like, damn, this guy, like the way that he talks to customers, the way that he is with his confidence and his charisma, like I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. That's a very interesting perspective to take. So
definitely. I mean, you know what it is, man. Too. It's like it really. The only reason why I would express that to you is because I see you as someone very similar to myself, and just the way you think, the way your headspace is, the way you rationalize the world, where you take in your surroundings, your perspective. You're very honest, very open. You're very internalizing a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So you're very aware of your surroundings. So that's why I would express something like that to you, because I knew that it would have a similar impact on your life that the way it did on my life. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you need what psychedelics do. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, at least for me, is they help you truly see a different perspective. It helps you show you like, oh, there really is a whole nother world outside of what I thought was real or what was possible or what creates, and that helps you get out of your mind, open yourself up, be more open around your surroundings and stuff like that, and it just changes the game. So when you get into routes, when you get into situations where you kind of are having trouble getting out of that headspace, you at least have that to look back on and tell yourself, okay, I know for sure, because I've experienced firsthand what is capable, what's out there, and what's there to be for you. So it's always like in your back pocket, you know what I mean? Which is really good.
Definitely. You know, and it's funny because I feel like doing something like that, like psychedelics and stuff, it completely just changes your life completely. Like afterwards, like I could understand vibrations and energies and what people understand as like social cues is what I was starting to understand afterwards, right? And I was understanding that there's this energy, that there's something going on in the room. That's how sometimes you can feel that when you walk into a room, you can feel there's tension in the room, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but it's there. It's an energy.
Yeah, it's like a cosmic rhythm.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That plays. It's so true, and it's all about just it's something that's like internalized within ourselves too. You know, it's almost like an instinctual system or something within ourselves. And once you take those drugs, at least for us, we were able to be more in tune with that, more open with that, and more aware of it. You know, and it helps us guide us through these little life scenarios. It's really important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Dude, this is freaking sweet. Like this is like.
Really, mine's the exact opposite.
No, dude, do you want some? Like,
no, I'm
like,
okay.
I'm like, ugh.
Getting killed. Yeah, mine's tart. I want to talk about more about what you're doing right now with like Saturday snaps and stuff, and like your open mics and stuff like that, and kind of how you dived into that, and how's that been working out for you, and what is that exactly? Like, go more into detail about what that is, what you do.
Well, I mean, for myself, I mean, I don't really do anything special. I mean, like one of my favorite pieces is my gratitude poem, right? And that's just because it's something that really resonates with my soul, it resonates with my being.
Okay.
And
like
then,
that. Is it like rap? Is it like rhyming? Is it rhyming?
Well, I'll just share it with you.
Okay,
all
please.
right?
I would love it.
So it goes like this, right?
2,000 years later.
Thank you.
Oh, that's dope, actually, bro.
Thank you.
That's super dope.
Thank you.
That's a lot longer than I thought it'd be.
I met Reese at Madhouse actually.
Okay.
And Reese is essentially like the founder of Open Snaps, right?
Uh-huh.
I know she's changed the name on it. I think it's like Snaps Saturday or something
like that, right? Saturday Snaps. No way. You met her like what? Like at a campfire or like a drum
No.
circle?
It was literally like I met her at Madhouse.
And you were tripping on it?
Yeah. I was literally out driving around and I was just having my normal day life because I was like, you know what, let me actually just go out and interact with the world. Let me see what type of experience it would have. That day was completely phenomenal, not just for myself, but with everybody that I had conversation with that day was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad he came out to me. Like, oh my gosh, like I learned more about, like, oddly enough, it was couples. I was getting in conversations with couples, right? And they were like, oh my gosh, like I learned more about my girlfriend in this 5 minutes sitting down with you than I have in the past like 2 dates that I've been with her. I'm like, whoa. And with Juan and Reese, that's what happened there. You know, they were just like, you know, dang, this is a really just vibe. They were just great energy people. We were just talking about all types of concepts. We were talking about, loving yourself and being confident, and, like what, like we were just basically, I wanted to say, we were basically talking about what is, like what is it like being present and in the moment,
That's awesome.
So we just got into a good conversation, and from there I shared with Reese my poem, my gratitude poem, but it was less fine-tuned then. And I had never performed it yet, and she's like, hey, I have an open mic, you should definitely come and perform. And I came, and that day, like, I came in there and I started recording. I wasn't planning on posting it, but I just started recording because the people there were phenomenal.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of talent.
Yes.
They do. They have a ton of talent, man, and it's awesome.
Definitely.
And you know what's cool about that stuff, man, and a lot of the open mics that I go to, it's out here in Vegas specifically, is that there's such a sense of, like, people being appreciative for the art, for the love, for the gratitude. It's not necessarily being like the best or phenomenal, or it's not like we're out here like get off stage, like I'm trying to, it's like, no, everyone is enjoying the fact that people are expressing themselves, and then that's what people fall in love with so much, just the expression, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity, get that chance to be vulnerable, be open, and then having an audience, having a reflection that gives them so much true love, true gratitude, true acceptance, because it comes from a place of realness. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of these open mics do. That's what WhatIs tries to do. It's like, no, we do it just for the love, dude. Just come out here and express yourself and be able to get that back from people without like judgment or ego or anything like that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love that, man. All the Saturday Snaps, Love Yourself Foundation, Connected LV, all those places, man. It's all just genuine as hell out here in Vegas.
And that's what I find is beautiful. And because there's so much amazing talent here in Vegas. Like you get
crazy.
like honestly, if you guys are like visiting from somewhere else to Vegas, you guys should definitely check out the open mics and stuff because like there you're gonna find a lot of the local talents because
100%.
there are some
It's underground, man.
amazing rappers,
Big time.
amazing instrumental players, right?
Super.
Like, oh my god.
There's a ton of talent. It's super underground, and it's very conscious too, man. Like it's very forward thinking. Like there hasn't been really a sense of community in Vegas really ever. You know, it's kind of just been like this like one street strip kind of town. But what's building underneath that layer is something very deep rooted community.
Yes.
It's very conscious and very like First Friday, for example. I don't know when's the last time you've been to First Friday. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's been a while though. Like
It's freaking amazing though, man. Like it's just like a straight art festival. You go down there and you see hundreds of different artists, just people. It's so beautiful. It's such a rich community now, and it's something that's built, and that's really what Vegas is turning itself into.
that's good, man, dude. No, I haven't been there in a while. Like I remember when I was in middle school and stuff, it was popping. Like everybody would talk about like First Friday.
Yeah. But and back then too, like back in the day, it was a little more. It was like this less put together, you know what I mean? It wasn't, it's dude, you gotta go now, because what it is now is crazy. Like they have this thing called the Arts Factory, which is in the heart of where they
That's where the open smack.
you know. But on First Friday though, that place is cracking, dog. So you know where all the art is and stuff like that? So all those artists are there on First Friday. So you go into their lounge, you see all their artwork. It's like, bro, they just set up this whole place, dude. Different shows going on in different places now. It's so crazy sick, bro. It's something way different than what it used to be, man. First Friday, it's crazy, dog.
That is so cool.
You gotta go. You would die at First Friday, bro. You would love it. Like it's crazy. You meet so many people. I love that. That's awesome.
This is another one that I'm working on.
Give it, bro.
All right, this one. All right. This one I haven't really practiced so much because it's a fairly newer one, but it's a message to the people not dead, but not alive. Still unleashed luck is a lustrous mistress, enticed by the measures. So go out there, make a mess, and gain from each interaction a memory and lesson. Say, hi, nice to meet you. You light up the room with your childlike enthusiasm. Say it with a smile, and don't be afraid to look people in the eye. It's simple. A plus E equals GV, meaning appreciation plus encouragement equals good vibrations. Talking to people is so hard. If that's a thought that comes to mind, understand I am right there with you. I've learned it helps to take your eyes off yourself and think about how you can add to others. At times it comes in the subtraction of your own words, which is okay. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you speak. Remember, we are all royalty, so be curious of others. Thank you.
I like that. I like that last verse, bro. Sick.
So,
2 eyes or 2 ears and 1 mouth. I love that.
yeah, that hit me.
Yeah, that's a good one, bro. Yeah, I feel that. That shit hit me too, bro.
But
I love that, man. That's awesome.
But I don't know. It's just spoken word. I've gotten very curious with the way that people can speak and say certain things and have it mean multiple different things, or be a creative way of saying it.
Absolutely. But that's why I love hip hop so much, bro. That's why I die for hip hop, because I feel like really words is when you can get down to the brass tacks of it, it's the rawest form of expression and the rawest way to connect with somebody. And seeing someone be able to paint a picture through their words like that, and it's just like the best of the best. You know what I mean? I love that stuff. It's so true. Spoken word is so powerful. Anything like that, it's just amazing.
It's weird how there's so many different forms of communication. Like you can communicate like just like the way that I did through words, right? Through the obvious way of most people do, right? However, there's different ways where we're communicating with body language, which is like 90%, over 90% of the way that most people communicate to each other is through their body, not necessarily through their words, right?
Yeah.
I think only 7% of our communication are actually through our words.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Then you go into what you were saying about the paintings. That's one way of communication that you're able to express yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Rapping through instruments when you're playing piano, guitar, whatever it is. It's so weird how that comes into play.
It is. You know what it is? It's because all we have is ways to symbolize things of what they are, right? We don't really have a form or a way to truly express what's happening, right? Because everything that we know is just things that we are doing for ourselves to help eternalize the world, understand
So
it.
that way they know what we're trying to come across.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All this is organic and pure. That's why you don't necessarily have to say it, because words are just nothing more than a symbolism of the truth anyways, right? Words are not what is. What is itself, right? Everything else is just something that tries to explain what that is. That's why you can do it in so many different outlets, whether it be music, whether it be a dance, whether you see a speech or something like that, because it's hitting something deeper than what they're doing is just the way the truth has been channeled through. You know what I mean? The truth always lies in infinite different ways. You know what I mean?
And that kind of reminds me of like The Alchemist. They go into talking about this universal language that everybody kind of knows, but not everybody realizes that it's around sometimes.
True, bro.
Right?
Yes, that is so true. That's exactly what he's talking about, bro. There's this inner truth, like a capital T. You know what I mean? Like truth. And when real recognizes real, you know, that's the best part about becoming more awake and just being more aware of yourself, is you can start to understand that universal language and see that it's forever speaking and talking to you in more ways than just one, and it's always reflecting back to you, you know, which is amazing to have, especially on your down days. It's more important on your down days than it is on your high days, you know.
Yeah. And that's something that I feel like I personally struggle with, is and it's funny because I mean, I'm not sure why and this is gonna kind of get like, and I don't know if I'm even gonna add this into the video because this is kind of getting a little bit too personal, but I'm not sure.
Sure, yeah,
whatever. Right. But like personally, something that I personally struggle with, and the reason I self-develop is because of this inner thought that keeps on coming into my mind of I hate myself.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know why, but it's a thought that I've had since I was a kid, basically.
Sure.
Since I was young, right? I've hated the person that I was before, and I've always thought about that, and I guess through drowning myself through self-development and trying to improve myself and stuff, I'm hoping that I'm able to get rid of that thought.
Yeah.
Because it's not something, and the thing is, like, nowadays I don't even know why I say it. Like, it's not like I try to consciously think about it, like, why is it that I say that I hate myself? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand. Why would I? Like I'm a great person. I do things that I'm moving myself forward.
Sure.
But why? But why do I hate myself? Like, I don't come up with the conscious. I don't know, right?
Yeah, which is tough. But probably goes back to, I mean, like, you know, a lot of that can come from, like, you know, child trauma, things that you might not even be conscious of. Maybe you're subconscious of that may have happened in your childhood, or the way you were raised, the way you were grown up. You know what I mean? I think what's really important in stuff like that, which I wish it was more accessible, is like therapy, especially for someone like you or myself, because you're so open to yourself and being with your thoughts. But therapy really helps with that kind of stuff, you know, being aware of mental health, being aware of traumatic experiences that you might not be conscious of, but you need to work through and dive in and go deep with, you know what I mean? But you're definitely on the right path without a doubt, because at the end of the day, digging that hole to yourself is always going to help that answer be a lot more clear and a lot more understanding, right? Because it might always be 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you know, with this kind of stuff. Like, you always feel like, you know, you're getting on top of the game until, you know, you get regressed back and then have those thoughts, you know. But the fact of the matter is that you're still on the wheel, you're still pushing, you're still going, and you're still understanding that. And I think at the end of the day, that's gonna resonate, you know what I mean? But you know, it's tough for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's a smart idea. I mean, I think that, like, maybe like therapy, you know, like, I think might be a good idea.
Hell yeah.
Just because, you know, like, I'm kind of like sick of that because logically it doesn't make sense, right? Logically, I'm just like, you know what, like, I'm a good person, and like I every time that I've told myself, like, you know what, like, I hate myself, I automatically catch myself, and I'm like, no, you're a good person, you do this, which and this and this, and you know,
which is awesome. Doing, you know, that's right there is its own therapy technique. It's in the moment replacing those thoughts with positive thoughts, you know what I mean, and training yourself, because a lot of it comes back to this pattern. You know, you just get stuck in this loop in your brain. Have you read the book? Remember that book I gave you, The Art of War?
The Art of War. No, I don't think you.
War of Art.
I don't.
Remember when we swapped books?
You did, and I don't think we ever got each other's books back.
No, I still have the Compound Effect, I think.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah.
Amazing book.
Dang, I only read like part of your book. I'm sorry, man.
But no, it's okay. No worries. No, it's absolutely fine. But in that book, he talks about how there's this energy. He calls it the resistance, and it's this energy that, like, no matter what, for some reason, this ego. Well, the theory is that all your life you have developed this sense of self, this identity, this expression that is truthfully not truly real. And when you start to dive into anything, like any sort of art or expression or free-flowing, kind of counteracts or contradicts what the ego wants to do, because you're starting to shed the ego when you do those things, So so badly the ego wants to keep itself in a position of power in its place. So that's why it kind of feels, or you don't say it's like the devil, like in the religious context. Some people can say the devil's out there trying to manipulate your thoughts and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, whenever you're going towards something, there's a resistance, there's a pushback from the ego for you to not do that, and kind of like, no, bro, chill, stay. It wants to, it wants to do nothing. You know what I mean? It really wants to do nothing. So that's what I'm saying. That thought could be too. It's just this thought pattern that the ego is to thrive and consist of itself. Because it's like taking like it's like, oh, emergency. What's the only way? Okay, let's try to
like what's going on,
down, because it's losing its sense of power and its sense of reality. You know what I mean? And it's just about just keep on flowing with that, and pretty soon that that pattern will kind of start to break itself out. You know what I mean?
Have you ever read the Outwitting the Devil? That one is good.
Someone has told me about that book though. Yeah, I need to read that super bad.
Yeah, it's a really freaking great book, and you can
take a conversation with the devil, right?
Yes.
He talks about how the ways he brings you down and stuff like that, right, or something like that.
Yeah. So essentially, Napoleon Hill, right? He waited years, like decades before his family posted it, because they were afraid of being criticized for this material, right?
Yeah, sure.
And in the book, there's a lot of things that like at that time they had no idea of, right? Like certain things like about like cigarettes, how like it was bad for you, like certain things about this and that, right? She's like at that time there was no way for them to know. They didn't have the scientific stuff to back it up, but in there it's mentioned in the conversation, they already knew about it, right? And it's really insane just to. Even if you don't believe in like a devil or whatever it is, right? It's just interesting to get the perspective.
Of course,
right?
Bro. That's what you got to take from it all.
Yes.
Have you read the book Conversations with God?
I have not, but I that's what Spectrum made one of his songs on, right?
Yeah, Conversate with God.
Yeah,
but that book is the flip of that of what you're talking about. This guy has a conversation with God, and it's not about the idea that if that's actually talking to God, but it's like the relevancy that you get out
like
of that.
I know exactly what you mean.
That's it. It doesn't matter, But so many people get caught up in dogmatic behavior, and again, that goes back to ego, right? Because the ego has to cling to something. It needs identity. It needs a sense of self. It needs a sense of formality. So what it takes from things like that is the literal aspect needs to logically rationalize what it's talking about, right? And it can't step outside of itself and see the bigger picture and see the paradox of it and realize, no, you don't need to get caught up in the semantics of what is real or what's wrong. You are everything. You're creating what's real or what's wrong. Use this as a tool for your creation outward into the world. You know what I mean? Some people have struggled with that. It's very fear-based too. A lot of it's fear-based.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just tons of fear.
Yeah. And that's kind of actually what it goes into a little bit on in the Outwitting the Devil, right? It kind of talks about how he is more so like essentially idle time is devil's time, right? And what that means is there's a concept that he talks about drifting, right? And how anytime that you're not doing what you're with a definite purpose and a definite aim, that allows for the devil to come in, or that allows for this negative energy or whatever it is, the buka whatever it is, right, to come in, right? So if you notice, the times that you probably feel like you're in the most of self-doubt and the most of uncertainty is when you're not pursuing your goals, your visions and stuff, or and it's so true.
It's that resistance, man, pushing you back and trying to drag you back down. It is so true, man. Because I think also a lot about what life is, man, is more about getting a sense of purpose, right? Not necessarily mattering what it is, but getting a sense of purpose and then feeling fulfillment out of that purpose, right? So when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, let's just say you're hitting the gym consistently, or just eating well, or making conscious decisions on yourself, and kind of giving yourself a regimen, that right there is going to give you purpose out of life, because you're seeing work and reward. You're seeing work and reward. You're kind of getting this reward-based system out of life. life, and that's what makes it so important. Whereas when you're drifting, you're not getting any sense of purpose, you're not doing anything, you're getting stuck in this angst and this anxiety, this energy that's not being able to flow itself out, and then you get so worried because I think at the end of the day, all of us are just trying to fill this void, right? Because we don't know where we came from. At the end of the day, we have no clue why we're here. Like, we have hands. Like, we're just here in this place. Like, no, we're just boop, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to do life. You know, I think
we're just supposed to do life.
That's what I'm saying. We have no idea. And it's like, oh, I guess this is what we're supposed to. Like, who knows? Really, we have no idea. And I think some of us sit with that subconsciously, and because since at birth you've been told, no, you're Elijah, this is this, and you're, Richie and bada boom or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of just it fucks. It messes up. It's like a way to not really look at what's going on and not understanding of like why the hell we're here. So I think so many of us sit with that, and if you just put that towards a purpose, then you find fulfillment out of it. It doesn't really matter what it is.
You know what's funny? But that book that's actually a little bit of what propelled me to quit smoking. Actually,
Which one? The devil one?
Outwitting the Devil, because he talks about in the book cigarettes actually.
Yeah.
And he talks about like how cigarettes, they're kind of like used to kind of like help people like drift and like kind of help people almost kind of numb themselves. And anything that helps numb yourself is essentially what he wants to occur to you, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because he uses that to like eventually like slowly but surely you start numbing yourself more and more and more, right?
Sense of control.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
And I associated that with weed because I was like, well, you know what? Like, I mean, that's probably like worse than smoking cigarettes in that sense.
Yeah, right. Sense of control and numbing, and getting you on a different wavelength and a different perspective.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Like, nah. Like, I'm not letting the negative in. I'm not letting that devil side in. But no, yeah, had a huge part.